Okay, guys. In today's video, we shall solve two questions based on straight lines. 100%. So basically, there are around three derivations, out of which these two things are the most important ones. So expect one derivation to appear from this, and as well as a question based on the same derivation. Okay. So first, we'll talk about something called as an intercept form. To understand the meaning of intercept, supposed to look at this diagram. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we talk about the intercept form. That's the name. So intercept form will be asked most of the times. If not, there's something called as distance between parallel lines. That's what will be asked. Intercept form. Okay. Now understand there's a reason as to why this will be asked in terms of your derivation, because this includes a diagram, and if you obviously forget the diagram, 100% will be losing marks. First of all, let's try to understand the meaning of an intercept with the help of a small diagram here. So this is obviously the place where both the x as well as the y axis meet is called as the origin here. We'll mark that and number it as 0, 0. Now I'm going to draw a straight line across in such a way that it's going to cut both the axes. I'll name the axis. This is the x axis, this is the y axis. So the common sense here is the point which I'm marking right now, that specific distance is being cut on the x axis. So that will be called as an x intercept. Common sense. Obviously, this part which I marked right now, which is cutting on the y axis, will be called as a y intercept. That's all. Fine. So this is the English meaning of the x-intercept as well as the y-intercept. Using both these things, you're supposed to get some answer. So how do we start off? On the straight line which we drew across both the axes, we will randomly assume some randomly assume some point. It need not be exactly in the center. Okay. Even if it looks exactly in the center, there's no problem, but there's no rule of that. Okay. Now I'll assume that random point to be x comma y. Fine. The problem here is we know that the straight line is trying to cut through both the axes, correct? So right now, the x-intercept, let's try to name that point or mark that point. So since any x-intercept, that distance will be lying obviously on the x-axis, we know that rule from 10th standard. Any point lying on the x-axis will be represented by a comma 0. I'll mark that. Similarly, any point lying on the y-axis will be represented by 0 comma b. Fine. So right now, what I assume was just 1 point. The remaining 2 points are common sense, okay, depending on our 10th standard. Now, what I'm trying to do here is, right now I can see 3 points on the straight line, fine, where the middle is called as x comma y. One end is 0 comma b, the other end is a comma 0. Agree? Now, I'll try to, since all the three points are lying on the same straight line, which means the slopes will be equal. Now, what slopes will be equal? I'll tell you. So I'll mark this to be number 1. I'll mark this to be number 2. Just an example. So if what I'm trying to tell you is slope 1 will be equal to slope 2. Fine. Small mistake I made. Representation of slope is usually by lowercase m. So I'll write m1 will be equal to m2. So this is the complete logic. That's the complete logic on which the derivation lies also. So my job right now is to find the value of m1, which means slope 1, as well as to find the value of slope 2. Why are they equal? Because all of them are lying on the same straight line. That's why. Now, to find m1, I'll obviously look at 2 points. I'll write these points here in the bracket, but in your exam, you need not write. Okay. I'm talking about 0 comma b and my assumed point x comma y. To find what? To find m1. Okay. Now, obviously, from a 10th standard or 11th standard, initially when we started learning about straight lines, we know that the 1 second, guys. Yeah, the formula goes like this: x2 minus x1. Sorry, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x2. The same logic we will try to apply here, but always understand here we are trying to get the answers for both m1 as well as m2. 1 minute before I go to the next one, I'll write the coordinates of m2 as well. M2 we will be dealing with x comma y here and a comma 0. Okay, so you should not change the order. You cannot find that you need not find the slopes between 0 comma b and a comma 0. Not at all required. Okay, now obviously if I try to get my answers here, x comma y and all those things. So let's say I look at my two extreme points here. Okay, I look at two extreme points here because all the 3 points are lying on the same line. No, so common sense is I'll use the caps m to find the slope between the extremes. Okay, m1 and m2 are between them. I'll also find the slope between the extremes. I'll mark that to be caps m. So totally 3 slopes is what I'm trying to find. Always understand the reason I'm trying to mark caps m is because that is my reference slope here. Okay, without the reference slope, it's very difficult for me to move forward. So my reference slope is given by y2 minus y1, which is nothing but b minus 0 by x2 minus x1. It's nothing but 0 minus a. So my reference slope is b minus 0 is anyways b, whole thing divided by minus a. I'll take the minus outside. So my reference slope became minus b by a. Okay, that's my reference slope. Now, you can take any other slope right now. Either take m1 or take m2. Both of them will get the right answer. You'll get the same answer. So either choose m1 or m2. It's completely your wish. I'll be choosing m2 because the letter a has been involved. There's no rule supposed to only choose that. You can choose any other letter also. I'll go to the next step. 1 second. Fine. So if I choose m2, m2 will be given by obviously y2 minus y1, same concept. So y minus 0 and x minus a. If you're still wondering what m2 is, I'll go back to the coordinates here. Look at that. Coordinates were x comma y and a comma 0. So y2 minus y1, 0 comma y. I just wanted to make y as positive. Therefore, I took y minus 0, and therefore x minus a I take. Okay. Should you also take m1? Not required, because I have to either take m1 or m2 and equate. And start equating them with my reference slope. Okay, so you either take m1 or m2, you'll be getting the same answer. The reason I took m2 is because the letter a was involved. Now this is my slope. I'm gonna equate this to my reference slope, equating it to my reference slope, to reference. Okay, reference slope, we took it as caps m here. So in simple language, I'm trying to tell m is equal to m2. Will this actually be the case? 100% will be the case, because they are all the 3 points are lying on the same line. Now the value of caps m we got as minus b by a. The value of m2 is seen right here, which is nothing but y minus 0 is nothing but y, correct? I'll write that. And whole thing divided by x minus a. Now what can be done? Regular math, crisscross. So it becomes a into y gives me ay is equal to minus b into x minus a. Okay, I'll continue here. Ay is equal to, multiply the minus b throughout, it becomes minus bx, minus into minus becomes a plus ab. Got this? So if you observe one thing here, you realize ay is on the left hand side. So similarly, wherever we learned about equations of a straight line, we always know that x and y should be on the same side. So therefore, I'll shift the minus bx to my left hand side. It becomes ay plus bx is equal to ab. Now, I'll give you a small hint when it comes to intercept form. The moment you come across the word intercept form, always remember your right hand side has to be 1. That's the hint. The right hand side has to be 1. Right now, we are stuck in this specific form here. If you observe the right hand side, it is not 1. What is it? It is AB. So how do you make AB as 1? Common sense, you divide throughout by AB. Why should we divide throughout? Because there is, again, as the math says, you're supposed to make sure that you're doing the same thing on both the sides. So since you're trying to divide AB on the right hand side to get 1, you're supposed to perform the same operation on the left hand side also. So after dividing the complete equation by AB, it becomes AY divided by AB plus bx divided by ab is equal to ab by ab. What was the hint here? Intercept form always means right hand side has to be 1. Automatically, we get what we wanted. Right hand side became 1. B and B got cancelled, A and A got cancelled. We are remained, I'll arrange them right now. I'll write the x terms first. X by A plus y by B is equal to 1. This is called as the intercept form. Now I'll go back. Check here. Below x, there is A, which means x intercept in this answer was A, and similarly y intercept was B. I'll go back to the diagram. I'll mark it. So 0, this is obviously A, this is obviously B. That's exactly what we wanted. Look at the points. Okay, so intercept form, what to remember, that the right hand side should always be 1. Okay, 100% there'll be a question based on it. If there's if this specific derivation is being asked, there will be 2 types of questions based on there will be 2 types, not more than that. So out of which the first type will go like this. They will give you an equation. They'll ask you to write the intercept form. The equation might go like this. 3x plus 2y is equal to 5. They'll be like, convert this in terms of intercept form. Okay. Now, how do you do it? First hint, look at the right hand side. It has to be 1. But unfortunately, in this specific question, we have the answer to be 5. But we know how to convert 5 to 1. Again, there are only 2 methods to convert a bigger number into a smaller number. Either subtract or divide. Intercept form, it's always divide. So we divide the equation by 5. Please do not try to mug this up. Look at the question there and then try to come across this specific logic there. So since you're going to divide throughout the equation by 5, it will be 3x by 5 plus 2 by 5 into y is equal to 5 by 5. I would strongly recommend you guys to show the 5 by 5 and then cancel it to make it 1, because this also carries marks. So automatically what I'm trying to get, Okay, one more hint I'll give you. If you look at the intercept form, whatever we got in the previous slide, the answer was x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. Okay, you try to get your answers in terms of the form. Right hand side is 1, it is exactly matching. In the intercept form, the numerator was only x. Only keep x on the numerator, shift everything else to the denominator. So automatically 5 was already there. 3 again goes to the denominator, becomes 5 by 3. Getting it? Plus, keep only the y there. 5 was already there. By 2 is equal to 1. This is exactly the form I'm trying to look for. Now, if you combine both the reference equation as well as the answer we got, x and x is matching, y and y is matching, 1 and 1 is matching, automatically the value of a becomes 5 by 3. Always understand, they'll ask you to find the values of x-intercept as well as the y-intercept. Okay, if you just give me the x-intercept as 5, the answer is wrong, because in the reference equation, which is here right now, reference equation, the numerator was only x, the numerator was only y. Okay, you're supposed to convert them. So similarly, b is equal to 5 by 2. This is the first way of them asking it. Okay, so they will give you an equation. They'll be like, find the x-intercept as well as the y-intercept. Second way of asking it here is, they will give you the intercepts. They'll be like, convert them into form. For example, they'll be like, x-intercept in the question is given to us as 2. Similarly, y-intercept will be given as 5. So this is given to me. They'll be like, convert in terms of equation, or write it in terms of an equation. So how do you do that? First of all, if you do not write the form, the answer is wrong. You need not derive it here, because understand, it will be a 5 marker. How they might ask you here is, they'll cut the they'll divide the 5 marker into 2 parts. 3 marker for the derivation, 2 marker for the the specific answer. That's how it works. Because intercept form, the derivation is not that difficult. It's very simple, because again, we'll revise it, but end of the day, this will be a 2 marker. So you need not write too much. So just write the equation whatever is required, which is nothing but x by a plus y by b equals 1. Now, fortunately, we know the value of x-intercept. X-intercept is represented by a in this case. Y-intercept is always b. Can you change the letters of this? 100% no. Okay. So y-intercept, my bad, was given to us as 5, not 2. A was 5. Okay. So I know the value of a, I know the value of b. I'll tell you where people stop and lose mark. They just substitute x by 2 plus y by 5 is equal to 1. They think they'll get 5. No. They'll get the complete 2 marks. No. Any equation of a straight line should not be in terms of a fraction. Remember this. So it's supposed to go one step ahead. Okay. Now the LCM becomes 10 automatically. So it becomes 5x plus 2y by 10 equals 1. Next step, crisscross. So 5x plus 2y equals 10. Your answer should look like a regular equation. Look at the previous question for a second. It looked like a regular equation, the question. Okay, you converted that in terms of whatever you wanted, and then you got the answer for intercept. But for the next type, they asked you to find the equation, whatever form it might be, should always look regular. Okay, with x and y intercept on the left hand side and one specific constant on the right hand side. That's how it should look. So we will revise this specific thing again. 3 marker. So first of all, you start off with a diagram. Simple diagram. 3 points on the straight line, out of which 2 points is more of a logic, and 1 is my assumption point. Assumption point is nothing but x comma y. The reason I wrote this box here, lowercase m1 is equal to lowercase m2, is because in this question, I took it as m2. Your choice. You can also take it as m1, but I prefer m2 because it had the letter a in it. Simple. M1 also you can use. There's absolutely nothing wrong there. So first I take a reference point. A reference point is always between the 2 extreme points. Those 2 extreme points are based on our logic. Okay, no assumption was used when we tried to find the value of caps m. Now, we all know that all the 3 points, since they're running the same line, the slopes are equal. Therefore, in the second slide, you find the value of m2 using the same logic. Okay, then you equate it with a reference equation. Once equate, you regularly do your regular math there. You crisscross and get this specific equation here. But the problem here is, we have on the right hand side, it says AB here. I hope you guys are following here. AB, the one which I marked right now. But the problem, the hint which I gave you is, wherever there's intercept form, the right hand side always has to be 1. So therefore, you have to convert AB in terms of 1. How do we do that? We divide throughout the equation by AB. So later, you arrange x by a plus y by b is equal to 1, where x is the where a is the x intercept and y is the and b is the y intercept. Okay, supposed to write this again. Reference is 1. Based on this, we solve 2 equations. This is what again, if you guys just download this video. 100% this will come for your exam, for your final exam also. Cool. I'll see you in the next class.